The Canaday Group presents RE/MAX Fine Homes, Luxury Living in Orange County, with your host, Lee Ann Canaday.
Good morning, Southern California, and welcome to the Canaday Group and RE/MAX Fine Homes. I am Lee Ann Canaday, your host, and we've got a wonderful show for you today, starting with our three-dimensional Matterport tours and our open houses for the weekend. Come visit us. How about putting the sign right over there, Crystal?
Hi, I'm Lee Canaday with the Canaday Group RE/MAX Fine Homes. Welcome to our open house.
So, did you see something you want to come visit, or did you see something you want a private showing of? Either way, either come to our open house or call our office, and we would love to give you a private tour. Now, let's move to our upcoming new listings, our fabulous properties, and our coming soons. Well, I'm at this incredible oceanfront property that's 13,000, almost 500 square foot lot, smack dab on the ocean in a very exclusive neighborhood called Cypress Cove in San Clemente. The neighborhood is gated, it has a private access to a beach, it has clubhouse, it has pools, but we have our own pool, of course. And it also has tennis courts, my favorite. And so, but the neighborhood is such a wonderful neighborhood. They have neighborhood parades, they all go to the beach together, they play sand volleyball in the beach together. It's just a beachy, fun neighborhood. But this house is an estate house. It's almost 8,000 square foot of home for the price of the lot. So you get a free house, basically. So this is an incredible investment. It's a fabulous lifestyle. It's got 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, the most wonderful office, giant office that's all view, all ocean front, huge high ceilings. The living room is a 2-story living room. The home is amazing. Wait till you see it all. So I'd love to tell you about this gorgeous, phenomenal ocean view. I can't keep my eyes away from the ocean. View property in Laguna Beach. Steps to 2 wonderful beaches, one of them being Aliso Beach, where there used to be a pier. Now there isn't, but it's a gorgeous beach, and there's a parking lot. Not that you need a parking lot, because guess what? You can walk to it. The house itself it's totally gated, so it gives you a second sense of security. And it's got a 2-car garage. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2 of which are master suites. Plus, there's not only a wonderful family room on the first level, there's a second family room on the second level, which means that if you have a couple of families there, you could have the kids in one area and the adults in another. It makes for quiet adult time, I guess, but it's really nice. And then there's also an area with 2 adjacent kids or secondary suites. So you could easily have 2 families here, really. And it's just a wonderful family home in a fabulous area with incredible views. And it's been redone totally inside and out, as you can see by the pictures. The new stone fireplace, the kitchen's all new, has a wolf range, Like I said, it's got the 2 masters, and it's got 3.5 baths. So it's just a beautiful home. It also has a jacuzzi outside, but the best part is the views. I'm telling you, they are, I just can't keep my eyes off of them. So enjoy. Well, I know you remember Christy because you've been on the show so much, and we really are thankful that you come on because escrow is a big blur to most people, and it's totally out of the realm of the norm for most people. So they're kind of confused, right?
Yeah, I'm glad that we could shed a little bit of education and help people through transactions.
Good, and that's what you do. And you're an independent third party, so that means you just represent the deal, right?
Yes.
No buyer, no seller, no realtor here, no realtor there. You just represent the deal and keep it on track, honest, clean, the whole thing, right?
Yep.
So I have some more questions for you. Here's one about powers of attorney. When can you use powers of attorney, and what kind of powers of attorney do you typically see?
Okay, so in a real estate transaction, we do have to have specific to the property. We cannot have a durable power of attorney unless it specifically says it's for that property. And those are rare, but I mean, I have seen them, and again, rare. But when you're buying or selling a property, you want a specific to that property. If you know you're going to need one and you're selling the transaction, I could prepare one for you, and you could use it when you sign your contracts and your listing. And that's only as an individual.
Okay.
If for some reason you own the property in a trust, you have to look at the trust and see who the trustee is. So if, let's say it's your wife and husband, and the husband's going to be out of the country, he still needs to sign, or he has to resign as a trustee of that trust. I know a lot of people have power of attorneys in trust, but mostly those are for medical reasons and other financial reasons. But real property, typically 99.9, I have seen one, but they do not let a power of attorney be used in a trust. So the trust will call out what happens if you can't sign, or two people can't sign. Then the successor trustee usually signs, or something else has to happen. Whatever the trust says is what we do. We follow. But yeah.
That's kind of important, right?
Yeah.
Follow their trust.
Yeah, and that's what people get trust for, is because it says what happens to me if I pass away, or if I'm unable to sign, who gets to sign on my behalf. The whole point of drawing a trust is, to stipulate who you want to act on your behalf, especially with your properties or your assets.
Right. Well, it's protection.
Yeah, it's protection.
Trust
But a
served.
power of attorneys, they need to be specific, and not only that, they need to be within 6 months of the transaction.
Oh, yeah. Half
Title.
of people's powers of attorneys were signed 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, and title wants a recent one because things could have changed. Let's say you gave me a power of attorney and trusted me with your life 10 years ago, but you don't really trust me now, and I'm selling your houses for you.
Right, right.
So I think that's why title wants them within a certain amount of time, because they want to make sure they still have the power to sell it for them. But yeah.
Good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And solar can bring up problems in an escrow, can't it? Because
Solar, depending on what type of solar, if you have a lease solar, the solar company will record a UCC financing against the property, and when you sell it, title's going to need to remove it, transfer it to the new owner. Sometimes people get a loan against solar, and there's a lien that needs to be paid off but let's just say they don't want to pay it off. The buyer's going to assume the loan. There's a bunch of different solar contracts out there, and 50% or more properties that I have in escrow have those, and every single solar company has a different protocol. Sometimes they want it transferred after the close. Sometimes I need to get the paperwork to do it during the close. And again, sellers need to know what they have on their house so they can give it to me, their agent, the buyer, make sure we transfer it properly.
Every once in a while you get somebody who actually buys their solar power, and then you don't have that issue.
No, those
it's
are
only
the best.
when you have a loan. Those are the best. Whenever anybody says, oh no, we already own it, I'm going, thank God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and sometimes you still need to transfer it, just like a utility bill. You still need to transfer it, and the solar company needs both buyer and seller's contact through escrow, so that way they can get them the new contract so they know what they're obligated to when it closes. So there's still things that need to be done, but they're not as difficult as if they lease it and it's recorded on the property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then those lease ones, they can just come and get them, take them away.
Yeah, I know. That's some of the
with the holes, you got holes in your roof. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you need to read the contracts
You
when
really,
you get solar.
Right. Okay, here's a good one. There are numerous amounts of ways to hold title, and I know that I just got that securities license. Remember last year I had to pass 3 exams, and I was talking about DSTs, which is really another way of owning properties, a DST. So maybe you can talk about not DSTs, because that is
because
you don't know about them, but you wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Half of the people I took the securities license from didn't even know what a DST is. Go figure.
So holding title is how you're going to own your property, how you're going to vest. Investing means you need to, if I'm a single woman, never married, I need to have a vesting with my name, my legal name that's on my driver's license, and a vesting. So if I'm a single woman, never married, that's my vesting if I want to hold title as a single woman. If I'm a married woman, I could hold title as a married woman, but I also have to have my spouse, if I'm going to, he has to sign off interest saying this is her sole and separate, I don't have anything to do with it, and he has to sign an interspousal deed, so there's another way. There's also husband and wife as joint tenants, so you could hold it together as husband and wife, and that means if joint tenants is if something happens to my husband, then I get to sell the house without having to go through probate, and all the interest automatically transfers to me. I have to do a couple things with title, with affidavit of death, but that would all go to me. But if I did community property, then that 50% is his community, and then my 50% is my community, and then his needs to go to a probate, so that way maybe he had kids before me, can get that interest. So the best, there's no best way to hold title. You need to really know what tax benefits you, and I couldn't advise you on that, but there's maybe like 10 different ways you can hold title, depending on your situation, but most common is joint tenants for a husband and wife.
Right.
Single, and if you're a divorce, you have to put unmarried. Even if you're single, you have to put unmarried on your vesting versus single, or a widow, or they all have different meanings to them, but you could really mess up your title if you do it wrong. It could cloud the title if you do not have your husband sign off on the interspousal deed. When you go to sell later, title's not going to let you sell until he signs off on it. If you put nothing at all, if you just put husband and wife, and you don't put a joint tenants, community property with right of survivorship, then something happens to him, what is title going to assume? That it was his community property, it was joint tenants, it was whose property was this? So it could get a little ugly if you don't do the right deeds.
Or you can hold it in a trust.
Or
an LLC.
Or an LLC.
Yeah, a lot of people hold property in trusts and LLCs. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, the best is
I
think
hold
the
all
trust.
my properties in trust.
Yeah, the best way to hold a property is in a trust, because if anything happened to you or whoever the signer is, it goes to the beneficiaries of your trust, and the next people could sign on behalf of it. It's the safest way for probate, for clouding title. It's just this easiest way.
Well, probate is expensive. So you never want to have to go through probate. You always want to have a trust, because a will does not preclude.
No, you still have to go to probate. It might be a little bit easier, but not really.
Not really. And attorneys charge like 10% of the value of the estate. So that can be a big chunk. So I would say the one thing you don't want to do is, the one thing you absolutely do want to do is have it in a trust, if at all possible, because that protects you from probate fees.
Yeah, and it protects your assets.
Right.
Why buy a house if you
You're
die
not
and then
protected,
it goes
right?
to who does it go to?
Yeah,
you have 18 brothers. You need to know.
Oh, that would be a lot.
No, I'm just saying you have a lot of people that are trying to and not only that is once people die, people come out of the woodwork and try to try to get your property.
That's the reason you have it in a trust.
Yes,
it's protected.
It's good for you, good for everybody involved.
Right. Well, Christy, unless you have something else you want to mention, you come across so many issues in escrow. I know. For me, I'll be chugging along in real estate, and then something happened. I never thought that could happen, right?
No, every transaction is different. So the clients are different, the agents are different, and no two things are the same. So I could have a smooth deal, and the next deal, things can come up. People can go out of the country, and I can't get a signature, or there's a fee that comes up on an HOA doc or a violation that comes up when I get the HOA docs, and we have to address it, and it kind of puts a damper on the transaction. But what if I didn't notice that? And then, so I have to look at every page that comes through, and I just am sometimes the bearer of bad news, like, oh, did you know your HOA dues went up to $900 and they used to be $400? Or, did you know you had a violation from 3 years ago? And the seller's like, no, I didn't even know. Because when you go into escrow, you start getting disclosures from everyone. The title report, you got to review it. The HOA docs, got to review it. The contracts, you got to review it. And it does. A lot of things come up. The lender, at the very end, they need another appraisal. And so my job is just to keep the information flowing to the agents and the clients, so that way we could resolve it and close on time, or figure out where our next plan of attack is. We're a team. All parties.
We all work together.
Are needing to, but it's very important to pay attention to the contract, to the disclosures that I get, and so nothing falls through the cracks. Yeah. I did have one fall through the cracks, not on my end, but the seller didn't know they belonged to 2 HOAs, because she was signing on behalf of her mother in her trust, because her mother was in a home.
Oh boy.
And so she thought it was a membership to
the clubhouse.
It's Lake Mission Viejo home.
Oh, she thought that was fun, just a membership.
Well, it was the daughter, and she was just signing the paperwork, and then I get a call from the HOA and said, oh, did you do this transaction, because I didn't get any paperwork, and so I called the seller because they didn't put anything anywhere. She's like, I thought it was just like a clubhouse. Yeah, it wasn't like an HOA. So we had to resolve it after the close. But you look. I have papers that say, how many HOAs do you have, and you have to fill it out.
There's a question. Yeah, but daughters aren't going to know that.
Yeah,
half the time the sellers don't know.
No, and it was just one of those weird situations that she didn't know, and luckily everybody understood and got it done. But yes, it is a lot of different things you have to worry about.
Okay, well, thanks again for
You're
coming,
welcome.
and I know you'll be back soon.
I can't wait for the
year.
year.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
picture of this QR code and it'll bring the Canaday Group to you. All of our social media and our website and our YouTube station. Enjoy.
The Canaday Group is a dedicated team of agents and assistants. Under Lee Ann's leadership, this group has provided knowledgeable, professional service for decades. Let's take a look at a few recent successes for the Canaday Group and their clients. You can keep up with Lee Ann, RE/MAX Fine Homes, and the Canaday Group 24 hours a day for real estate and community news, tips for home buyers and sellers, and of course, the latest listings from Lee Ann and her team. Go to our website at canadaygroup.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, Lee Ann's friendly professional team is always available to answer your questions. Call anytime at 949-249-2424.
Hope you enjoyed the show today. We loved bringing it to you, like you know. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. And subscribe to our YouTube channel because we love to have you as a subscriber. Plus, you'll never miss a show. And if you want to review one of my tips or my lattes with Lee Ann, any of the news bulletins, go to my YouTube station and we have it all categorized. So, see you again next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for more Canaday Group and RE/MAX Fine Homes. Bye.